Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your girl Adriana DC. How are you? Today's video we have an exciting recap, rank and review of all of the Valentino BORN in Roma and its flankers. All right, you guys already know that Valentino has been keeping them coming, you guys, and they have a new release that was released in 2025. And I went and I got myself that fragrance. And you guys know that Valentino BORN in Roma has been quite, I wouldn't say a cult favorite. It's just been a very, a fragrance that has been very well liked by everybody. So it's not like an on-trend, like, oh my God, no matter what I stand for Valentino fragrances or whatever. It's just a fragrance that was such a nice fragrance, such a pleasant fragrance that it was loved generally by everybody. And it held a place in everybody's perfume collection. And it has been, of course, known to be, the party girl scent or, the girls' night out fragrance or whatever. And that fragrance obviously had a very long reign in the perfume community. And then Valentino started bringing out, I think, Valentino brought out 7 other fragrances since the original Valentino BORN in Roma. So tonight, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on the newest release from the range, along with all of the other 7 flankers, and I'm going to be ranking them for you guys. So if you guys want to know what is my top favorite flanker from the Valentino BORN in Roma perfume range, then by all means keep on watching. If you guys also want to know my thoughts on the newest release, then please keep on watching. If you guys are new here, please don't leave without hitting that subscribe button. Of course, on my channel we review fragrances, good fragrances, new fragrances, all fragrances, expensive fragrances, affordable fragrances, everything that smells good, and even those that do not. And of course, I give you guys my thoughts on them. And obviously, we just could chop it up and discuss, the hottest juice scent on the market. So if you guys are interested in this kind of content, then by all means, keep on watching. If you guys are new here, please don't leave without hitting that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that notification bell so that way you will be notified every single time I upload. And for those of you who are my returning subscribers, thank you guys for your continued support. And without further ado, let's just get into the review. All right, so I'm gonna start by giving you guys a recap of all of the fragrances and when they were released, and then I'm gonna give you guys my rank. All right, so first up we have the original Valentino BORN in Roma, and this fragrance was released in 2019. This particular scent is all about the blackcurrant, the vanilla, the jasmine, and the bourbon vanilla. Okay, it was in this fragrance that most people, I would say, fell in love with that note of bourbon vanilla. This is essentially a very it's a flirty yet womanly, sexy, edgy fragrance that is quite sweet. You get the essence of the vanilla, the bourbon vanilla, very strong. That gives it, of course, a very sexy vibe. And overall, Valentino fragrances just has a really edgy, womanly vibe. And this fragrance has been known in most person's wardrobe to be like their girls' night out fragrance or like a club fragrance. It's just a really beautiful scent. Okay, it's the blackcurrant really stands out in this particular perfume, but it's not predominantly fruity. It's the fruity elements is a bit subdued, but just present enough to give the fragrance a really nice, sweet, and somewhat of a playful vibe. Okay, and then of course, because of that, that bourbon vanilla and the guaiac wood in the base, the fragrance has somewhat of a serious or mature tone, so to speak, but keeping it very sexy and seductive. I love this perfume, and yeah, I think most people like this fragrance. I haven't heard many people say they dislike this perfume. So this is the original Valentino BORN in Roma, which was released in 2019. Next up, the brand then came out with Valentino BORN in Roma Yellow Dreams, and this fragrance was released in 2021. This particular fragrance took quite a different turn from the original Valentino BORN in Roma. This one features notes of lemon, rose, and musk. And unlike all of the other releases, the ones before and after this particular scent, Valentino didn't reveal too many of the fragrances in this particular perfume. They just gave us 3 notes: lemon in the top, rose in the heart, and musk in the base. And this particular scent, it was a bit of a touch and go, a hit and miss with many people. People didn't know how to receive this fragrance. I would say they liked it, but they didn't love it. However, I absolutely love this fragrance. I think it's a beautiful spring and summer scent. It's a very nice fragrance for like if you're going out for brunch, or maybe even if you're going to be in a wedding, if you're a bridesmaid or something like that. It's very simplistic but beautiful. Has a beautiful lemon note. It comes off quite cold, okay? Oh, it's such a beautiful fragrance. It has a beautiful blend between the lemon and the rose, okay? So it comes off like a very cold rose. The zestiness in the lemon is a bit muted, and then you have that musky essence. The rose shines beautifully in here, but it just has this beautiful dose of that lemon inside of this fragrance that is just, the rose doesn't completely take over the fragrance, and it's just a really beautiful scent, you guys. I love this perfume. It projects quite well. Right now, I just sprayed this fragrance and it's literally filling up this room. It's a solid release from the brand. And again, it wasn't that well received, but I really do think this is a really beautiful fragrance, you guys. So this is Valentino's Born in Roma Yellow Dreams. And then next up, the brand came out with Valentino Born in Roma Coral Fantasy. And this one was released in 2022, you guys. Now, I literally just went and grabbed this fragrance just so I can complete my entire range. I complete the entire range of, you know, the Valentino Born in Roma fragrances. So I would say to you, I actually originally opted out of getting this fragrance, okay? This particular perfume was quite a controversial one, you guys. I felt like more people disliked it than actually liked it, okay? This fragrance obviously features notes of kiwi. There's some Brazilian orange. It has in the mid, you know, some jasmine and some rose. And again, in the base, we have some musk. And I think there's some other notes happening. So it does hold some similarities to the Valentino Yellow Dreams, in that it went in a completely different direction from the original Valentino, you know, Born in Roma, and gave us something a little bit more playful, flirty, and quite fruity. So this one gave us a lot more spring vibes, and this one gave us a lot of, you know, fruity summer vibes, you guys. And the girls were not loving it because they compared it to Dolce & Gabbana's L'Imperatrice, okay, because it has in that kiwi note, okay. I'm gonna say to you, okay, when this fragrance was released, I opted not to get it because I actually listened to the reviews. I felt like I actually smelt it as well, and I think at the time I did have, you know, Dolce & Gabbana's L'Imperatrice in my collection. However, this one is slightly different, again because it has that rose and that musky essence. You can definitely smell those notes in this fragrance. I want to say there's a beautiful, like, it's like a zesty, orangey, sweet, fruity vibe to this fragrance. There's a kiwi strawberry juice that I used to drink when we were younger. That's the vibe I'm getting from this fragrance. Now, the funny thing is that having revisited this fragrance, I don't find that this perfume smells basic. I think it smells quite elegant and fruity and pretty, and actually smells quite delicious, okay? I really like this fragrance. I don't find it to be simplistic. And if I can give you an idea of when I say simplistic, because I think that's when people say a fragrance smells simple and basic, people, you know, just write it off. But I would say to you, Marc Jacobs fragrances are pretty much simplistic. Daisy and those fragrances, okay? And then you have Dolce & Gabbana fragrances that are quite, well, actually Dolce & Gabbana fragrances are actually quite complex and quite beautiful. Even though they're simple, they're really beautiful and something spectacular in my opinion. But this fragrance doesn't give me Marc Jacobs vibes at all. It's quite pretty, okay? However, there are a few fragrances that this fragrance reminds me of. So I'm thinking in that regard, that's probably the reason why people, you know, weren't so impressed by this fragrance. I would say the La Vie est Belle L'Eclat, this fragrance comes very close to it because of course it has that orange, that Brazilian orange in here. And obviously the L'Eclat is focused on the orange note as well. This fragrance also holds similarities to, there's another fragrance by, I feel like it's from Valentino as well. There's another one that it smells quite similar to, and of course we have the L'Imperatrice. But the composition, the scent profile, you know, of this fragrance, the quality of this scent definitely doesn't give me basic vibes, you guys. So I do think it is a beautiful fragrance, beautiful for the spring and the summer months. So this is the Valentino Born in Roma Coral Fantasy. Then in 2023, the brand gave us Valentino Born in Roma The Intense, you guys. And I grabbed this one. And this one I felt was definitely a hit. And it was very well loved because they labeled it the intense version of the original. However, this fragrance is more the dry down of the original. So this one obviously focuses on the bourbon vanilla in the top note mixed with some amber, and then it kept the original jasmine note, which seems to be in the heart of most of these fragrances, and then it has some benzoin in the base. So this fragrance, like I said to you guys, it captured the most sexiest part of the original Valentino Born in Roma. So the Born in Roma Intense, it is smooth, it is creamy, it is sweet, it is sexy. It comes off, I would say I capture, sexified bourbon vanilla. There's just a creamy, warm, sweet, sexy vibe to this perfume. This is your evening time type of fragrance, your date night type of fragrance. You know, if you guys are having dinner out somewhere, very beautiful fragrance. This is a night out type of scent, okay? Very, very beautiful. So again, this is the Valentino Born in Roma Intense. And then obviously Valentino was just on a roll, and I felt like they were beginning to feel out the sweet spot in the industry because there was a long pause after the original Valentino Born in Roma. But in 2023, they gave us Valentino Born in Roma Pink PP. And this fragrance had everybody in a frenzy. This was all over the internet. It was one of the most talked about fragrances in 2023. It was an exciting release in a hot pink bottle. It was just beautiful. Well, the thought of it was beautiful. The sound of it was beautiful. The look of it was beautiful. And when we finally got our nose on it, it was absolutely stunning. This particular release features Calabrian bergamot in the opening. We have some orange blossom in the heart and the bourbon vanilla, the signature bourbon vanilla in the base. This fragrance, I don't know. I really love this scent. I felt like this fragrance came off a very, very floral and very warm. I feel like even though he gave us only 3 notes for this fragrance, I feel like there's definitely some jasmine in there. There's some warm florals in this fragrance that make this perfume feel very elegant, very pretty. And I want to highlight to you guys, I feel like what Valentino has been doing, the original Valentino Born in Roma, though its note structure wasn't that complex, it has different dimensions of the fragrance that was so beautiful. And Valentino has kind of like divided those dimensions and is giving it to us bit by bit. And this one captures the more floral aspect of the original Valentino Born in Roma. I would say the Valentino Born in Roma Intense focuses more on the bourbon vanilla. Even though both of them having bourbon vanilla, this one amps up and intensifies the bourbon vanilla. This one amps up and intensifies the florals. And even though there's a bourbon vanilla in the base, it just gives it a really warm and sexy and very elegant and floral vibe. I absolutely love the Valentino Born in Roma Pink PP, you guys. Then in 2024, Valentino gave us Green Extravaganza, you guys. And the original Valentino bottle with this lime green liquid definitely captured everybody's attention, including mine. And it had the most interesting note structure, yet everybody went for it. This fragrance was a bit lukewarm in the perfume community. People talked about it, they like it, they didn't dislike it. And some people loved it, but it was like a like and love, and it was kind of like, I don't know. I felt like people didn't know how to appreciate this fragrance, and I think that seems to be the trend with Valentino fragrances. Valentino gave us, you know, the original edgy, a little bit fruity, sweet, very womanly Born in Roma, and then he played around with different vibes but still maintained the same base note, the same edginess, the same womanly vibe to the fragrances. And people didn't really know how to capture it because most brands, when they have flankers, they give you the same fragrance over and over and over and over and over, and they just tweak the top note, add a little bit of that, take away that, this, that, and the third. Valentino gave us something absolutely spectacular in every single one, in my humble opinion. So Green Extravaganza, it features notes of Lapsang Souchong tea in the opening, jasmine in the heart, and some vanilla in the base. But what does it smell like? This smells like a citrusy, bright, fruity, crisp green apple with some sweet vanilla. I feel like there's some musk in here as well. This fragrance gets sweeter by the day, and it gets nicer with time, okay? I love this one, and you definitely get the Lapsang Souchong because there is something very aromatic about this fragrance, okay? But it's mellow, it's sweet, it's prominent, it's strong, and this fragrance, it lights up the entire room every single time I spray this perfume. My daughter loves it, and every time she wears it, the trail follows her all the way down the stairs in all its simplicity, and it's quite different but also interesting at the same time, you guys. This is really, really nice, okay? So this is the Green Extravaganza by Valentino. And then at the end of 2024, Valentino then gave us Valentino BORN in Roma, the Gold Donna. Now, I saw this fragrance, but I think it was a little bit, withdrawn from YouTube at the time, so I didn't grab it, but I actually gifted my mom a bottle of this perfume. And of course, I smelled it in store, and it was very impressive, very beautiful, but I kind of like held off on getting it. So this is one of the fragrances that I actually captured just to do this video. I purchased 3 fragrances just to complete my entire range or collection of the Valentino Donna, and this is one of them. And this one is a Gold Donna, and I looked at this one and I smelled it. It was beautiful, but I knew it was going to be a little bit stripped down from the original. So this one went in a completely different direction altogether. This one focuses on some mandarin. There's mandarin in the opening, there's some gardenia, and in the base we have some coconut. And I'm sure everybody was intrigued to see how Valentino was going to incorporate coconut into its into the Valentino BORN in Roma fragrance line, because this is a very different note to kind of add to a very edgy, womanly, very fruity fragrance. Now this fragrance comes off like a very tropical fragrance, not too fruity, but it's more in that gardenia essence in the fragrance. You get a hint of the mandarin in the opening, and I would say to you, I believe that there's more notes in this particular perfume. God, this is so beautiful. I would say to you, there's definitely more notes in this particular fragrance, but the notes that stand out is definitely that mandarin mixing with the gardenia. It gives off a very tropical and extremely sweet vibe, not sickly sweet, but for the note structure, when you look at a note structure with just mandarin, gardenia, and coconut, you don't think much from it, but this fragrance smells really sweet, creamy, tropical, very elegant, very pretty, okay? It is most definitely stripped down a little bit. I do feel like it holds some qualities of the Valentino Pink PP. It's definitely giving me similar vibes. It's stripped down from the Valentino Pink PP, and all I know is just it smells very pretty, okay? I don't get a lot of the coconut, but you definitely get that tropical feel to it. God, there's something a little bit soapy and even a little bit shampoo about this fragrance as well, you guys. I love it. It's very interesting. Now, I don't have anything else in my perfume collection that smells like this fragrance, and I haven't, I'm not in tune with what the YouTubers are saying about this fragrance. I do think that it's a bit stripped down from the others, but it's still so beautiful and spectacular in its own right. I think I love this fragrance. However, in terms of projection, this is not as loud. This is not as loud as all the other fragrances. And I feel like looking at the bottle in comparison to all the other fragrances, there's this light opaque, slightly yellow, color to the liquid in the bottle, and it's gold. I don't think it was meant to be punchy and loud. It was just meant to be, right in the middle of all of the other fragrances. And I just think it's an absolutely stunning fragrance, you guys. So this is Valentino BORN in Roma, the Gold Donna. And in 2025, Valentino gave us the Valentino BORN in Roma Extradose Donna. You guys, I mean, Kylie has some long names, but I'm thinking this Born in Roma is definitely a tongue twister. But we have, again, the Valentino Born in Roma Extradose Donna, you guys. And this bottle comes in like a, even though it's quite similar to the pink PP, I feel like it looks the same, but I would say it's a slight bit more purpley. I don't know if it's because it's coupled right. No, maybe it's the exact same color, but because the liquid in here so is like red, okay, it makes it look more lighter. The liquid is red or pinky, and then the plaque is hot pink. The bottle just looks brighter and much more fuchsia. And this one for me, because the liquid is clear and the plaque is black and the cap is also black, it comes off a little bit more violet. Yeah, I'm gonna say this one is definitely a slight teensy bit more pinker, and I'm getting like some purple hues in this particular fragrance in this bottle, you guys. Now obviously I just quickly grabbed this scent. I went to the mall and I just strolled in, sampled some fragrances, and this baby was in there, and I was like, ooh, oh my god. I sprayed it and it stayed with me, you guys. I'm gonna tell you from now, I love this perfume. Okay, now this fragrance features notes of blackcurrant, rum, and vanilla. You guys, I'm just now looking up the notes in this fragrance today. I didn't look up the notes before. I didn't see that they had in some rum, and rum is one of my absolutely favorite notes because it's one of my favorite things. Okay, this one has in some blackcurrant, and let me just see if I can find somewhere to spray this, because I've sprayed perfume everywhere, Lord. Let's have a look. Now, I sprayed it in the store, and I have been playing with this fragrance, you guys. I have been playing with it to see how I feel about it. Now, this fragrance definitely holds true to that blackcurrant note. It's quite prominent, okay? It's giving you like a Vimto, or like you know that blackcurrant squash that they have here in the UK that I don't drink, but my daughter does, okay, when we go to the hospital. Don't get me wrong. It tastes okay, right? But if you taste like the blackcurrant Vimto drink, I'm getting that. So this one is very heavy on the blackcurrant. I'm not getting that bourbon vanilla in the base. There's something that goes in a slightly different direction. There's something a little bit almost earthy and powdery, a little bit dusty. And I'm thinking it's all blackcurrant. This fragrance is all about blackcurrant. Maybe it's the rum that's giving you that, you know, that kind of vibe in the heart. And I'm not getting the sexy bourbon vanilla, even though there is vanilla in the base note. Beautiful fragrance. I would give it a 7 out of 8, okay? In terms of performance, the fragrance lasts between 7 to 8 hours, okay? I will say to you, it does not project like, it doesn't project like the original Valentino BORN in Roma. It doesn't have the same presence, but it does smell really good. It doesn't have that, that very giant sillage. It's not that loud in terms of, you know, presence at all, but the fragrance definitely lasts. It's a beautiful fragrance, but it does tend to dry down and kind of get lost on the skin a little bit, in my opinion. So this is not a fragrance that completely jumps out at you, and it doesn't have the same performance as the Valentino BORN in Roma, in my opinion. All right, so now we have all 8 fragrances, and it's time for me to give you guys my ranking of these fragrances. And I think you guys are gonna be absolutely shook of my ranking, but here we go. Coming in at the number 8 spot, I'm gonna give it to the Valentino BORN in Roma Gold Donna, you guys. This fragrance is quite pleasant and pretty, but it doesn't project. It doesn't project as much. It's not that loud. It doesn't linger that much, but it is a very elegant and beautiful smelling fragrance. Don't get me wrong, I do not dislike this fragrance, but in comparison to all the other fragrances, this one is definitely in the number 8 spot. Next up, we have Valentino BORN in Roma Yellow Dreams. Definitely one of my most favorite from the brand, but in comparison to all the other fragrances, I'm gonna have to place this in the number 7 spot. Coming in at number 6, you guys, we have Valentino BORN in Roma Coral Fantasy. And I know you guys probably weren't expecting that. I love this fragrance. I think it's really beautiful. I think it's really fruity. It's playful. I think it has a really like the name implies, Coral Fantasy. It's fruity and pretty and it's still very interesting. It doesn't come across basic or simple, and even though it resembles other fragrances, there's still something that's really interesting about this fragrance, you guys. So Coral Fantasy is coming in at the number 6 spot. Number 5, we have the original Valentino Born in Roma. And you guys probably are shook, but this fragrance has been dethroned, and yeah, it's coming in at number 5 spot. It's still a love. It's a beautiful fragrance. And you guys, I think that like every single one of these flankers are worth having in your perfume collection, you guys. But yeah, we got so many beauties in this particular range, you guys. So this is the Valentino Born in Roma, coming in at the number 5 spot. All right, so coming in at the number 4 spot, we have the Valentino Born in Roma, the Intense. And I'm kind of surprised that I'm placing this one here, but this is where it is. This is where I feel it is, because it's a beautiful fragrance, definitely much more intense, definitely sexy, definitely memorable, but I hardly call for this fragrance. And while it's a beautiful perfume and it comes right behind the Valentino Born in Roma, again, this perfume, obviously this is the Intense of the original, has been dethroned because there's so many goodies in this range. So coming in at the number 4 spot, we have the Valentino Born in Roma Intense. Next up, we have the Valentino Pink PP, you guys. I love this fragrance. I just think it's really warm. It's florally. It's just a very warm and very pleasant and very elegant fragrance. It's a perfume that I want to smell like when I wake up first thing in the morning. I don't know why, but it's giving me that vibe because it's a really warm and very cozy and very elegant smelling fragrance. I think it's a really pretty perfume, you guys. So this is Valentino Pink PP. And next up, in the number 2 spot, I will give it to the Valentino Born in Roma Extradose. You guys, I love this perfume. There is something, I want to say it's probably the rum. There is a little bit of a musky note. I do find it to be interesting because it has that like extra dose of something. And I think I feel like the rum is taken away from it as well as adding to it. But combined with that black currant, it's like really, really shining, and it's shining in a different way. And I'm really happy because unlike most perfume ranges, they give you a bunch of redundant fragrances. Every single one of these flankers from the Valentino Born in Roma range has something beautiful and different to offer, you guys. So the Valentino Donna Extradose is coming in at the number 2 spot. And of course, at the number 1 spot, we have Valentino Green Extravaganza. You guys, this is the most strongest fragrance with the biggest sillage, okay, the biggest scent trail, and the most long lasting out of all of these fragrances. Yeah, it actually is, you guys. When I spray this fragrance, it lights up the whole room. It gets me compliments. It is pretty. There's just something about this fragrance. It is citrusy. It is bright. It is bubbly. It smells like a crisp, green, sweet, juicy apple on a bright spring and summer's day, you guys. This is an absolute love, you guys. I love this perfume. And there you have it. We have Valentino Green Extravaganza coming at the number 1 spot. And there you have it, you guys. Here are my thoughts on all 8 fragrances from the Valentino Born in Roma Donna range. That's a mouthful. I hope you guys enjoyed this review with me. Let me know how you guys feel about these, flankers in comparison to the original, because Valentino has been keeping them coming. Like, Valentino found the sweet spot, and he has been like, here's another one, and here's another one, and here's another one. He has been giving them to us, you guys. So I definitely can't wait to see what else Valentino has in store for us. But I am loving it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If in fact you did, please give me a very big thumbs up. If you guys are new here, please don't leave without hitting that subscribe button. Make sure to hit that notification bell so that way you will be notified every single time I upload. And for those of you who are my returning subscribers, thank you guys for your continuous love and your support. Until next time, see you guys in my very next video. Bye.